This is how you guys should eat if you're trying to maximize productivity and fitness. So this is a completely different video on what I would say on how to maximize your fitness gains. This is more recently how I've been eating personally, because I personally try to balance mixed martial arts, fighting, and business as well. And my business at the moment is online coaching and basically low ticket products. That's why I always try and push to you guys buy my low ticket product, because I'm also a businessman. But without the way that I eat, I would not be able to concentrate as much. So this is not a video on how to be as optimal a fitness as possible, how to get as good of a physique as possible. This is how do we eat so that we can concentrate to get work done, to become an entrepreneur, and then also be able to coincide that with fitness. So let's get right into it, boys. So let's just understand why you guys can't concentrate in a minute, because this is not just bodybuilding. This is not maximizing gains. We are trying to concentrate, and it is because of what you eat. So let's just get that into our heads to start with. The first key tip of how to be more productive is when you are fasted, you are 1,000 times more productive. And that's because digesting food completely slows you down. Making meals slow you down. Thinking about food slows you down because of a decision fatigue. Oh, what do I eat? What have we got? The salt? Have we got the pepper? Have we got all the ingredients for the food? Thinking about food slows you down as well, like I just said. Decision fatigue about what to eat will slow you down. And ways that you guys can help yourself fast, the ways that you guys can blunt your appetite is warm drinks. So it doesn't have to have caffeine in, but if it does have caffeine, even better. So decaf coffee, green tea, tea, any of the decaf variations, as long as it's warm. There's something about warm fluids that just basically blunts your appetite. Caffeine as well. So these two sort of go hand in hand with each other. Caffeine is typically inside hot drinks. If not, though, you can get it through Monster Energy, you can get it through Red Bulls, even Diet Cokes and stuff, which brings me on to my next point, carbonated drinks. There's something about the bubbliness inside carbonated drinks that gives your brain the illusion that you've eaten when you haven't eaten. So sparkling water, Monsters, sugar-free Red Bulls, any sugar-free carbonated drink is going to massively blunt your appetite. In this time while you're fasting, this is when you do your work. This is when I make my content. It's currently, what time is it now? 7 a.m. right now. I already did my workout this morning. That's why I'm in such a good, cheery, happy mood. And I also did my workout this morning. So I did my workout this morning fasted, and I did my YouTube shooting videos fasted. And I don't have to worry about meals because I'm fasting. I don't have to concentrate on thinking about meals, making the meals. I don't have digestion slowing my brain down. Literally every time you digest food, your brain gets slower. Like you can't concentrate as good as if you were fasted. There's something about when we were cavemen and when we're in a fasted state and we had to go get food, it makes us concentrate better. And if you haven't tried it already, then try it. Remember, we're trying to sacrifice maximum gains here. We're having to sacrifice being as optimal as possible in the gym in order for us to be productive, because we're not eating to be as good shape as possible right now. We're trying to concentrate and move on to different areas of your life. So this way of eating, and we're going to go into more detail in a second, is amazing for the people that have already figured out fitness. If you haven't already figured out fitness yet, that's the first step. So if you need any help with that and how to maximize gains and how to become the best shape of your life, then book a call with me below. It'll be the second link in the description. You'll see what the first link in the description is soon. But this is for the people that need extra help, that have never got into amazing shape beforehand and they don't really have the knowledge on it. I will show you exactly how to get into amazing shape and stay in amazing shape for the rest of your life on easy mode. The best thing to do, guys, like I just said, this kind of relates to the previous slide, but we need to have less meals, because the more meals you have to think about, the less productive you are. More thinking about meals because you've got decision fatigue, more digesting meals, like I said. And when you do eat your meals, try and make sure your meals have less volumes per meal, because obviously that means you're going to have to digest it for longer. Of course, stuff like fiber, like stuff like salad, fruit, that takes a lot longer to digest compared to normal carbohydrates. And usually it hasn't got a lot of calories in, so you have to eat a lot of it in order for you to get the same amount of calories in as like eating junk food. So that's going to be heavier type of food because you're going to need more volume of it. and it's going to take longer to digest. And digesting on its own slows your brain down. Trust me, if you guys have never tried this before, try and have less meals, try and have more fasting, and just see how much more productive you are. You're probably going to be 1,000 times more productive because you don't have to make a new meal every 5 seconds. When you're digesting food, your brain doesn't work. So if there was a fly on the wall or like a camera on the wall recording you work, you'd notice for every 5 seconds, you're just going on your phone, and you go make a coffee and you come back, and then you go speak to your mum, and then you go speak to your girlfriend, and then you go text people. You'll notice how unproductive you are. So what I want you guys to do is when you are having your meals, is try and stick to single ingredient foods, because the more ingredients there are, if it says bread and it's got a million different ingredients in, there's stuff in there that fucks your brain up and it fucks your testosterone up as well. So for one, it will make your testosterone increase because you'll be eating more natural type of foods. And then for two, it will make you 1 million times more productive probably. And I'm not exaggerating. Just try it out and you guys will see what I'm on about. So when you do actually break the fast, you want to have a 0 carb first meal, and you want to flavor it, so you can add salt and pepper, and smoked paprika is my favorite. And when we're having keto, the sort of stuff that you want to be having as a general rule is any type of meat, any type of fish, most cheeses, steak, beef burgers, mayonnaise, anything that's got 0 carbohydrates in. So track your calories. If it says it's got more than 2 grams of carbs, then it's not ketogenic. So try and have a ketogenic diet, 0 carbs, because there's a direct correlation between how many carbs you have and how much of a spastic and a retard you are. Because you guys understand what I'm talking about when you have junk food, when you go around to Sunday dinner around your grandma's, you will notice that when you have a massive carb dense meal, you can't even function the same after you've had it. You couldn't even fathom concentrating, let alone actually concentrating. And that's because they slow down your brain, honestly. So when you have your first meal, you've still got some more time for productivity. Maybe you're absolutely starving and you need to eat something because it's 12 p.m. Like I said, fast until minimum 12 p.m. If you're going to break your fast and you've still got more productivity left in you, then I would massively suggest having your first meal with 0 carbs. I used to think that it was just fasting that worked, but then I realized that it's just carbohydrates that make you more retarded. I'm telling you. And I'm going to go into more detail about when to introduce carbs. I'm not going to make you eat a keto diet for your whole life to be more productive, but if you're going to balance sports later on in the day, I'll show you how to do that later on in the video. But for the time being, it's still midway through the day. You've just broke the fast. It's 12 p.m. You probably haven't got more exercise to do for a good while. So when you do that, break fast with some keto food. Make sure that you're not spiking your insulin up all the time, because every time you eat in carbohydrates, it will spike your insulin, and then eventually you'll have a crash. And this is like when you have a carb crash, basically. And if you don't do this, if you just have a ketogenic diet, what will happen is you'll have steady, consistent energy levels, which means less burning out. You won't get frustrated with yourself, and you'll still be just as productive. I've tried the paleo diet. I've tried eating all of the whole foods. I've tried eating potatoes. I've tried eating rice in my diet. I've tried fruit as well. And even fruit, you'll notice it. Even if it's like a tiny little bit of fruit, you'll notice that your brain doesn't work as good as if you just didn't have the fruit. I'm telling you now. When you do break your fast, have 0 carbohydrates. Understand that you're not going to be as productive as if you were still fasted, because you're still digesting food. However, it's going to be much better to have keto as your first meal in comparison to just eating carbohydrates straight away to break the fast. You'll also have less cravings because, like I said, you won't have that spike in insulin. You'll have steady insulin levels, basically, and that means you won't get loads of sugar cravings. So that's what you should do to stop yourself from craving as much food as well. The sort of stuff I eat is like steak, eggs, bacon, and I try to have the fattiest stuff I can. So full fat bacon, not bacon medallions. A ribeye steak, not a sirloin steak. You get what I'm saying? Whole eggs instead of egg whites. And if you work out in the evenings, have carbs before and after your workout, especially stuff like MMA, football training, or any high intensity sport, because you remember, this is how to eat to be productive and balanced in fitness. So if we're trying to do mixed martial arts in the evening and our class lasts 3 hours, you're going to need some carbohydrates. I'm sure if you've tried to have zero carbohydrates before you go training, you've probably done it before and you just feel shit, right? So when it's time to do mixed martial arts, let's just say it's like 6 p.m., then at 5 p.m. you have your first carb meal. And then you finish at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You have your meal after that, so 9:30 p.m. You're going to have carbohydrates as well. And this will replenish your glycogen levels, because without carbohydrates, we haven't got glycogen. We kind of need glycogen in order to push ourselves in the gym, push ourselves in cardio, any type of high intensity sport really. So when to introduce carbs, to be more specific, before and after workouts, especially cardio workouts. So mixed martial arts, football, any high intensity sport. And you want to pair this with protein, because we need carbs and protein for muscle recovery and performance as well. Introduce carbs as soon as you are satisfied with productivity. So for me personally, I start my mixed martial arts classes at 6 p.m. So at 4:30, I'll have my yogurt bowl with fruit, and it's got quite a lot of carbohydrates in because it's got like granola and stuff like that in there. Gives me about an hour and a half to digest before I go to training. It's a big meal as well, so it's a lot of calories. I try to get a lot of calories in. The opposite to what I'd tell you if you were trying to diet to be as good shape as possible is basically what I do for my yogurt bowl. I still have a protein yogurt, but then I'll have like granola in there, dark chocolate, stuff that's got a lot of calories that's going to make the calorie total go up. Yeah, so when you're finished with the day, I personally stop like working on my computer probably around 3 p.m. So I've got about 3 till 5 p.m. to just chill out. I'll have a yogurt bowl, and then it's time for me to do my cardio activities. So then when I finish my session, I'll have 5 rounds of French toast, which again is a massive carb meal with honey on it, and it's got fruit on there as well. So try and eat carbs and protein before and after your cardio workouts in the evening. If you don't have sports in the evening, I would suggest sticking to a ketogenic diet if you can. If you can't stick to it, then don't. But if you can do it, it's going to make you more productive. It's going to make you have less brain fog. It's going to make your energy levels stay consistent. But when you are eating your carbs, obviously try and stick to clean carbohydrates. I don't always do this. I have bread in my diet quite a lot. I have a lot of French toast and stuff. So if you need any help with this, go to my Instagram, ShayHammond_. I'll put a link in this in the description. Send me the word book, and I'll send you a cookbook full of loads of free recipes. You can have it on your phone. And all I basically want is your email address. So just go to my Instagram, send me your email address. Once you've sent me the word book, it will prompt you to send the email address. And then I'll send you a free PDF cookbook of about 50 plus recipes of high protein, low calorie recipes that taste amazing, and they'll help you get down to your goals. So how I structure my life currently, and I make progress in every single area, by the way, guys. I'm not saying this to brag, but I wouldn't be qualified to make this video if I didn't say that. So what I am balancing is I balance mixed martial arts, fighting, and productivity work, basically. So what I do is I wake up really early in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I do my morning routine, which usually takes me an hour. So it's a bit of a slow start to the morning. I'll have my supplements, I'll wash my face, I'll do my journaling, gratitude, and all that sort of stuff. And then as soon as it's 5:30, I drive to the gym. So I get into do some exercise as early as possible in the day while I'm still fasted. I haven't eaten a meal at this point. And then I don't eat until 1 p.m. So that's quite a lot longer than what you would probably expect. Usually people try to rush off their protein shake as soon as they've finished. I finish my workout at about maximum 7 o'clock in the morning, and I still don't eat for another 4 hours after that. No, 5 hours after that. I trained weights in the morning, and I haven't got my first protein feeding until 5 hours after my workout, which is not the most productive thing to do in the fitness wise. But for me to be able to keep on working, to keep on being productive, I don't eat until 1 p.m. And this is something that you guys can play around with yourself. But before MMA at 6 p.m., I'll eat a yogurt bowl at around like 4:30, like I said to you earlier. And then I get home at 9:30 and I eat French toast with fruit. So I'm getting my carbs in before my workout and after my workout as well. I progress in the gym. I make more money each month. I get more handsome every single month. I get more followers and subscribers on my socials each month. and I continuously get better at fighting. And I show people exactly how to do this in my course, Size and Violence. So it's a course on how to balance the whole lifestyle, mixed martial arts, fighting, being an entrepreneur, working from home, having time freedom, all of that type of stuff. I also teach you how to become a coach, whether it's for mixed martial arts, fighting, how to become an online coach, whatever. And this is all in my Size and Violence course, boys. So join below. Each individual course that I just said to you costs $27 each. Because you're one of my YouTube family, I do it all on my school community, which has the community aspect as well. So not only do you get the community full of people just like yourself, but you also get $27 courses, which is 5 of them, by the way. You get 5 $27 courses, all for the price of a Netflix subscription. And you get the community of like-minded killers just like yourself as well. So check it out, boys. That is the first link in the description. So a strategy for you then, that was my personal strategy. What you should do is get up earlier and get all the hard tasks done as early as possible in the day. For me today, my hardest task was doing my incline treadmill, posting my Instagram reels, and then it was doing these YouTube videos. It's 7 a.m. right now. I'm getting it out of the way as early as possible. So get it done as early as possible. Weights, cardio, business, all before you start work. So if you're a guy that actually has a 9-to-5 job or 8 till 4 or 7 till 3, whatever, do some sort of exercise before work. If you don't have time to do exercise, do some business before work. But if I could choose out of the two, I would massively suggest working out first, because it's going to get you in a high vibrational state. And the rest of the day after that is going to be easy, including going to work with your boss that you hate, right? Do it all fasted. So when you do everything, your weights, your cardio, your business, whatever you decide to do in the morning, do it all fasted. Break the fast with 0 carbs, preferably 1 ingredient foods. So this might be difficult to do if you work in an office. So maybe you won't be able to do 1 ingredient foods, but still try and have 0 carbohydrates for your first meal. If you're on the go, a boiled egg, fridge raiders, cheese strings, anything with 0 carbs is going to be better to have than having carbohydrates. And if you train in the evenings, eat carbs before and after workouts. Some supplements that's going to help you with productivity, fitness, and yeah, those 2 things is vitamin D3. And I pair this with vitamin K2 because them 2 together is a good combination for productivity, your mood, and also testosterone as well. Creatine, which I take 10 grams a day. I don't actually take ashwagandha at the minute. I've just run out. But I take cod liver oil and omega-3 fatty acid fish oil, whatever it's called. And like I say, I've got a complete guide on how to do all of these things, boys. So have a look in the community. Click the first link in the description. Watch the VSL. See if it makes sense for you to join. And I'll see you guys in the community, or I'll see you on the next video.